Hey guys, it's Clownman, and I figured I'd make this video. Just I don't know. I figured that if anyone of my subscribers or any of the viewers have me on Facebook, have any of my pages liked or etc., they probably see one side of me, the really angry, arrogant, hateful side, the metal side. And I was watching Mr. Repzion video, and I really like his content. There's one video I watched about Amanda Todd that I don't agree with his opinion, but that's my opinion. I have my own thoughts and beliefs on it. They parallel in a lot of areas, but they also, uh, go against some of the things he says. But hey, he's his own person. He can have his opinion. I'm my own person. I'll have my own opinion. Hopefully, if he catches wind of this, he'll still respect me, if he has any respect for me at all. Or perhaps, he'll message me and say, hey, what do you think of the man Todd or whatever. Anyways, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, I figure I'll give you a lowdown on, as you'll see, I've got the title for the video in mind. It's called Pinnacle, Why I Am Who I Am. And this video is going to be me explaining of the very, very big stages in my life coming up to where I am now. I'm 19 years old. Today is March 10th. I figure, I'll explain everything. If I change some more, perhaps I'll release another video. Otherwise, fuck you guys. Anyways, so yeah, I am, as I stand, normally a very hateful person. I don't like people, but at the same time, I feel this strange need to socialize. When I don't talk to anyone, I start to get depressed and lonely. Yes, very hateful, very angry. I have very little patience for people. In general, I find myself to be a very horrible person. I know what you're thinking. Colton, how can you think you're a horrible person and still be alive and not change? Well, very easily. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm a horrible person, and I'm content with that. I'm content with not giving to charity. I'm content with fucking almost completely bashing Christianity. I'm okay with being almost infatuated with death metal and this grinding, disgusting power. I'm okay with, hating myself and how I look. I'm okay with, well, me. I don't know, it's weird to, to hate yourself and how you look, but at the same time be okay with it. You're okay with hating yourself. It's a strange, I don't know, it's a strange trail or, circle of ideas, I suppose. But anyways, let's start we'll go back when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember exact dates. I don't even know the exact date that it happened. We're backtracking to when I was 8 or 9 years old. Even before pre 8 years old, I had a pretty good life. Had a brother that I hate. Now we're starting to get along, but anyways. Had a brother, had mom and dad. Everything was fine. Went to school, had some decent grades, had friends. Well, at the time, yeah, friends. Everything was, well, middle class America happy. I'm Canadian, by the way. Yeah, everything was just normal. Um, Time had gone by further and further. I once when I was about 8 or 9 years old, my parents had become began fighting more and more, and it had escalated to the point where it was almost no longer in separate rooms. It was almost right in front of my brother and I. And as time went on, a couple months went past, they actually finally got the divorce. My parents are splitting up. I'm a 9-year-old kid. My world consists of my mom and dad, school, and video games and toys. And mom and dad being the biggest primary things. They're the people in my life, other than your friends. But friends leaving you is a big deal when you're a kid. Your parents splitting up is fucking massive. It's monumental. It's almost like your world splits in half. So, my parents broke up or got divorced. I took it really hard. All the kids do. Oh, my parents got divorced and I was sad. It happens to a lot of kids. A lot of kids feel bad. And a lot of kids blame themselves for it. Me, I don't. Looking back at it now, I don't really think I blamed myself for it much. I think I was just sad that, they were leaving. And, you know, I couldn't stop it. I'm a kid. So my parents had split up. Now, what I'm going to tell you, I probably shouldn't tell you, but fuck it. Now, from what I've been told, the reason my parents had split up is because my dad, you know, couples fight and stuff. When he had gotten in a fight with my mom over anything, he would seek a third party to vent or, you know, to talk about it with. Normal people do. You get in a fight with your girlfriend, you don't go talk to your girlfriend and be like, hey, I got in a fight with you and now I'm mad. No, you go talk to your buddy. You go say, hey man, I got in a fight with my girl about this, this, and this, and either he'll tell you you're an idiot and you were wrong, or he'll be like, yeah, I totally understand, man, don't worry, everything will be fine, they'll help you out. And you go to that third party and you vent, you know, you let it all out, then you receive any form of criticism or constructive whatever, you know, go based on that. So my dad had this friend that he was talking to about his relationship issues. This friend was female. Boom. That's the issue. So my mom had, you know, beginning to find this out, and not to, you know, to publicly insult or anything towards her. If you like my mother and know her, then good for you. Whatever. But she had begun listening to rumors that were being spread around town. And the rumors were that my dad and his friend, which he vented to, had begun having affairs. Banging. So she began to let that spiral her, well, what was falling apart in turmoil in marriage out of control. So that was basically what cataclysm's not a good word, which basically spawned all the issues, which led to the divorce. Now, once my parents were divorced and, you know, papers weren't signed, but they had agreed to divorce. We had lived in a 2-floor house. I don't know what a story is. But my dad had begun living in the basement. Mom was living upstairs with us because that's where our bedrooms were. So he was living in the basement. Mom was upstairs. I just completely lost my train of thought. Hold on. And that was Facebook. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Dad was living downstairs. Mom was living upstairs. Now, all my life that I have been conscious, like, I think I remember my first memory too, but since that moment that I believe is my first memory, down to, you know, this time when my parents were splitting up, I had these 2 dogs, Gizmo and Flash. Looking back, they were adorable. But anyways, yeah, they were a child's best friend. They were dogs. They'd run around and chew squeaky toys and poop on the lawn that I had to clean up, which sucked. But yeah, all this, you know, this stuff would happen, and I had these dogs. Now, hang on to this. This is important shit. So, I had these dogs, blah, blah, blah. My mom had ended up, we had moved out into a new home, which was on the other side of town, whatever. So, weekends and whatnot, we'd go visit Dad. Yay, go to Dad's house, have fun, and all that stuff. And over time, it was, I think, in August, and I'm kicking myself for not knowing exactly what had happened. But the one smaller but older dog, Gizmo, begun getting whatever, got sick, and he was slowly getting worse and worse, and it was what a doctor would refer to as terminal. So slowly got worse and worse until the day we had to put him down. And I still remember that day because there was a picture of my brother and I and our dogs. It was the last time I ever saw them. One of them. But yeah, that happened, and dogs died. That fucking hit me hard. Like, I felt completely lost. I had lost my actual best friend. I was just missing, and something was gone. I wasn't... That was one pivotal moment of when I had changed. Things were going, boom, different direction. That was a pivotal moment when things changed. Now, following almost immediately after, within days, my other dog ran away. My mom, as a kid, she told me, oh, he's probably just looking for his buddy, somewhat trying to console me or something. So, whatever. My presumption is he got fucking pegged by a truck or something. Because he's dead. There's no way in hell he's still alive. If he was, we would have found him. My dad was bound and determined. My dad loves the shit out of me. I'm so lucky. Anyways, both dogs out of my life. I am fucking wrecked. On the outside, what I think, I'm trying to hold it together because I have friends and stuff and whatever. So I don't want to seem weak and cry and stuff. So, trying to hold it together. Now, as time goes by, Dad has to move again because he can't afford the house anymore. Whatever. I'm sad because that was a really wicked house and I love it. It's a childhood home and all that stuff. So he moves into another place. Still living with Mom. Go to visit on weekends. Hold on, I'm texting. Yeah, we'd go to visit on weekends. Everything was still relatively normal. You know, this, I think a good year passed. I don't know. I think it was a year. Yeah, a year passed. And I had gotten news from my dad. He had told me, and he said he was moving. I was shocked beyond answer. I could hardly think. But on the outside, I had tried to project it's okay, I love you, Dad, don't worry. And he had left, he had moved to Red Deer. And the whole entire time, I was living with my mom. All day, all night. There's a lot of events that were going on that even before my parents had split up that had continued to that were already happening, but once my parents had split up and Dad had left, had begun augmenting any pain I felt and just amplifying everything. So backtracking back, when brother was born, he was born with something. Oh shit. He was born, and this is no insult to him, this is stating fact, and if he has an issue with me, an issue with this video, if he catches wind of it, and doesn't want me to post it, I'll take it down. So, watch it while you can. But he was born with one kidney functioning fine, and the other kidney only functioning at 25%. Now, as a child, this is pretty dangerous because, well, children are fragile. So, time had... he wasn't exactly lucky coming out of the gate, and as he was born and as we grew up, my mom had continued to what I see as favor him. I think it was just that they had developed this crazy bond because she had to take care of him so much. I still, to this day, I believe she favors him. I have no idea why now. A lot of shit has happened the past few years, and I just don't understand any of it. But anyways, kidneys fucked. Mom and brother bond fuck ton. Parents split up. Dad leaves. I'm stuck with Mom and my brother, and Mom favors brother in my opinion, or what I see of it. So that had continued to put more and more tension on my brother and I's relationship. Relationship gang? No. Any form of talking, anything you feel towards a person is a relationship. Anything you feel towards anything is a relationship. You're fucking dumb. Anyways. So yeah, I had begun to hate him because, honestly, I felt ignored. I felt like I was nothing. And that played a Pinnacle role in later in my life, which I'll get to. But yeah, I'd begun feeling abandoned, but as a fucking 12-year-old, it didn't strike me as, oh my god, all the time. It was, once in a while, oh, I'm sad. I'm gonna go skateboard, and then, everything was fine kind of thing. I kept growing, I went to a new school, was having fun, meeting friends. Everything had what I would assume to be fucking rebuilding. Everything was going back to normal, everything was trying to be fixed. Now, at this point, I'm developing some form of thinking for myself. And at this point, I had reflected and looked back on everything that's happened, and I began to believe that my dad had abandoned me. This is not the case, but this is valid evidence for what's going to happen later. Anyways, I had begun feeling like when he moved away, he had abandoned me, and he had left me alone with this fucking tyrant of a mother and fucking stupid brother. So as another pinnacle point, which not so much brought it in another direction, but it just intensified everything, was I had hit puberty. As you know, your parents will tell you when you hit puberty, your body changes and does stuff. Something they didn't fucking explain to me, or they did and I was too fucking immature to grasp it, is when the chemicals change, your fucking brain goes stupid. Like, you just get right fucked. Your chemicals change, which can lead to depression and other such things. And yeah, worst shit imaginable. Like, you think depressed kids with stable families and whatnot have it rough? Knock it down to one parent and you hate your brother, it fucking gets worse. Like, depression as a teenager, it can get so much worse, but everyone already looks at it as worse, so they don't think it's a big mess of shit. So yeah, I had begun getting depressed. Uh, School depressed. Yeah. Right around this time, Guitar Hero was super popular. So playing Guitar Hero, oh, guitar music is better than rap music, and this is splitting off timelines almost, but as time progressed up until now, I had begun acquiring a taste for heavier and heavier and heavier until we get to this point where it's fucking just brutal fucking shit. Backtrack. In high school, or in junior high, having a good time, starting to listen to heavier music, being sad every once in a while, starting to get a little more morose, but whatever. I had turned 16. I don't know, I hadn't turned 6. I was 15 or 16, and I had been dating before, and I started doing these long distance relationships. Honestly, I think they're the fucking dumbest thing in the world, and I fucking regret to shit ever starting doing one ever. But I digress. I had begun doing this long distance relationship with this girl. And, everything was, well, I thought going good. We're young and in love and fuck. So we had continued dating, and it was Valentine's Day. So I'd asked my mom, because she lived in Bonnyville. Yeah, not that far away, only half an hour, but whatever. I'd asked my mom, about 5 days prior, like, hey, for Valentine's Day, could we go to Bonnyville so I could see my girl? She said, okay, but it can only be for a few hours. I huffed and moaned, was mad, but it's not the important thing. 2 days went by. No, hold on. No, it was no. Yeah, because Valentine's Day landed on like a Wednesday or something, or landed on a Monday, so it couldn't go till the weekend after. So, it was Valentine's Day, because I remember I was shipped out on, spoiler, it was Valentine's Day, and I had received a text from her saying that she didn't want to date me anymore. We were broken up. Boom. You could hear my heart breaking. So I went out to my mom, trying to keep some kind of composure together, and I just told her, you don't have to worry about driving me to Bonnyville on the weekend. She says, why? It's like, because me and Caitlin broke up. And she tries to do the mom, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Now, up until this point, I had a history of self-harm, and I believe not a suicide attempt at this point. No, yeah, at this point I had attempted suicide once. Well, technically twice. Yeah, history of self-harm. I would cut myself with razor blade. Well, in this case, it was a pen spring wrapped around the end of a pen, so that one of the parts of the spring was sticking out, so it was kind of jaggedish, and I would, tear my skin up. And for anyone who watches this, that shit is the reason, is a big part of the song I wrote, Bloodsick. Unrelated note. Back to the story. I had a history of self-harm and 2 suicide attempts under my belt. I had felt at the time completely and totally, utterly depressed. Blah, 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 sad. All the time. So, I woke up the next morning. Actually, before I finish that story, There's one thing I do want to say. With my 2 suicide attempts under my belt, one of them was somewhat followed through, but I had resisted it. Basically, the thing was I had slit my wrists open and just laid, with my hands on my laps, waiting to bleed to death. The fact that I don't have scars, well, there's one there, but I don't think it's from that. Yeah, at this time, I had cuts all over the top of my left arm, because I was a righty, and all over my wrist. I had actually made a couple in this one too, but left-handed, not as dominant, couldn't do it as well. I just sat there hurting physically, waiting for myself to die. Now, I've been an old girlfriend of mine I've told this story to, and she honestly thinks it's a dream. Nope. By now it's 3 suicide attempts under my belt. My bad. But yeah, she believes that this was a dream, or that both of them were a dream. I think they're real, but I can't go back in time and really tell. It's the time thing. 2 seconds ago was a memory kind of thing. So it seems really, really vivid to me, and I think I did it, but she I don't know, it doesn't seem to add up to her, but whatever. Sitting in bed waiting to bleed to death. I had ended up passing out on top of my cuts, so that it had applied substantial pressure to reduce bleeding. I still don't fully fucking understand this myself. Scientifically, or medically, I don't think it adds up, which is why she thinks it's a dream, but whatever. Yeah, that had happened before breakup. This was happening a lot. Come to day of breakup, go to sleep that night, wake up the next morning, sick as fuck. I couldn't uncurl, sleep on my side, kind of curl out. I couldn't uncurl myself, and I had this splitting headache. To this day, I've never had a headache that intense, and I don't get headaches ever. Like this, it felt like, it literally like log splitting, like my head was made of wood and there was an axe splitting my head open. I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I can't go to school. My guts are killing me. I've got this massive headache. I just can't go. I can't deal with it. So she leaves, comes back, tosses me Pepto-Bismol and Tylenol and says, take these, we're going to school. And I just say, no, I'm not fucking doing it. This is back in a time where swearing was a big hoo-ah in my house and it was bad. Now I fucking swear almost every, 8th word. But yeah. I said, no, we got in this big fight. The rest, I don't think I'm legally able to disclose, but basically, shit went south fast, and it went far. Mom had ended up kicking me out of my house, but before she had left, and I don't know why I listened, but she said, call your dad and tell him what happened. So I called him, told him what happened. I said, if you can you pick me up? Tears in my eyes. I'm hardly I don't know what the word is. Hardly coherent. That's the word. I'm hardly coherent, and I'm just sobbing and snotting and just fucking a mess. I said, amongst my tears, snot, and incoherency, I managed to stumble out, Dad, I need you to come get me. Mom kicked me out. I packed up a bunch of my all my big shit, but it was in a really big bag of mine, so I ended up leaving it there, and I just took essential stuff, clothes and whatever. And I went to leave, left my little note to my brother, left him my little possession, because honestly I thought I was going to never see him again. I had taken my phone with me. That was a big thing we fought about. Plugged it in. I went to the nearby church. Yeah, I'm not a Christian person, but I went there to charge my phone and just kind of relax and simmer and figure out what the fuck's going on. And I texted my stepsister at the time. And I said, hey, I just got kicked out. Can you, come see me? I need to talk and stuff. And at that point, she had agreed to not so much take me in, but to take care of me for the afternoon and help me figure it out, help me get my head around everything. And basically, she was just being a good person. So that happened. Dad came, picked me up, pissed off as fuck because he left in the middle of work. And if anyone ever knows my dad, he fucking doesn't leave work. If there's shit to do, it fucking gets done. And he left work. Looking back on it now, that's one of the big things I know that my dad loves me. is he left work for me. Like, this shit just doesn't happen. He doesn't leave work unless he's crippled in bed. Like, he doesn't. It's a rare occurrence. So yeah. Anyways, Dad had picked me up, brought me to Camrose. We picked up my big bag, gone to Camrose, eventually gone back to get all my shit, come home. And now I'm living in Camrose. Still self-harming, still cutting myself. My dad had begun, well, doing what any parent would do, trying to help out. And because I was so morose and in my own world, I thought he was just trying to change me. Like, oh, you're trying to change me, you fight the power, bleh. So we had begun getting at each other's throats. And he ended up signing me up for therapy right before I wrote that song, Bloodsick. I had been reading the Heroin Diaries, and the Heroin Diaries is just a bunch of journal entries from Nicky Six when he was looped the fuck out of on heroin, and that was the year he decided to quit, go straight. And I had thought, hey, writing could help. Writing could express my emotions. So, I'd begun writing, and I'd writing songs mostly, but I'd begun journaling how I felt. Saying my emotions, talking about what happened that day, writing how what I was thinking. After that, Dad decides, hey, we should sign you up for therapy because, I want to make sure you're okay. Go to therapy for about 7 sessions or so. I don't remember. I ended up just not going because you have to call back to make another appointment. I didn't fucking bother calling back. Midway, about 4 sessions in, well, 2 sessions in, I did an exercise that really figured something out about me. She had this thing of sand and a bunch of little action figures and shit. She said, do stuff. I was like, do what? She's like, stuff, anything. As long as it's, kind of, well, anything. Were almost her exact words. So I had put a dragon in the middle and begun just lining it with soldiers and knights ready to fight this dragon. I had finished and she said, well, I said, I like what you've done here, but what's the dragon symbolize? I'm like, I don't know, me, I guess. She's like, so you feel like you're against the world. Still feel that way. But it's not saddening, it's angry. Anyways, but yeah, that had happened. I'd figured this massive thing about myself that I didn't really clue into it before, but I had, hold on. For Christ's fucking sake. What was I talking? Oh yeah, therapy. Figured out it's me against the world. Good stuff. The day after, or not the day after, the following days, I had written Bloodsick. To this day, it hasn't been changed or altered. It's still the exact same song I wrote, wow, 3 years ago. I mean, there's grammatical changes and whatnot, and timing changes, but basically the song's the same. And I've been so proud of it. That was a real mood lifter. I was really proud of myself for something for once. And it was, a really big thing. Begun still doing therapy, and, hold on. Fucking. Making a YouTube vid about how I turned into who I am today. Smiley face, send. Anyways, therapy, proud of myself. I continued therapy for more weeks, up until week 7 or 8 or whatever. And during those few weeks, they had brought in a psychiatrist or a something that wasn't the person I was talking to. And we had done some talking, and I ended up being put on some teenager safe antidepressants. Personally, I don't find that they fucking work. They didn't feel like they did anything. According to my dad, therapy and pills worked. I think he's full of shit. Whatever. And then I'd quit therapy. I was working. I was basically becoming a regular kid. Now here's where things get fucky. Fast forward to 17 years old. At this point, another long distance relationship. Another girl. Great. This chronicles the big hit in aggression and anger. Up until that point, I had begun feeling I was always very sad and morose. And at this point, I had transformed into this angry, hateful person. Another Pinnacle changing point. Even further, not so much intensifying, but it's like if the lights going through these different beacons changing directions were blue, this one flipped them around, turned them red. Like I was just this hateful, angry person all the time. Explain. Going up to the thing, I was dating this girl. Yeah, things are good. I love you, young love. To this day, I have a stance on love that's probably it makes a lot of sense to me. I think he'll think it makes sense. Basically, what I think love is you'll never know what true love is. It's not humanly possible because no matter what, there's always that element of someone else could love you better. You'll never really know where you sit and where you stand with whoever you're with, that if that's true love. You can tell them you love them, but there's always the chance maybe you'll have more intense feelings for someone else. You don't know that. If you're in love with someone, fuck, go for it. You have these strong feelings for them, that's fine. But you don't know if the next person you love is going to be more or less intense. That's my stance. So yeah, young love, da-da-da-da. Everything's going good. She decides to come visit. Okay. I'm still a virgin. Key part in this little Pinnacle thing. We had hung out, hung out, kissed a bit, hugged a bit, made out a bit, gone on some attempt of a date. And she was staying in town for the weekend. So she went back to her hotel room. I kissed her goodnight, whatever, went home. Next day, she doesn't have to babysit anymore because she brought her brothers and stuff, and she was with her mom, and da-da-da-da. So we were hanging out by ourselves. Did our stuff, made out, whatever, had sex. Big thing. Now, looking back on it, even because technically I lost my virginity on a park bench, or not a park bench, on a bench outside the hotel. Where I actually lost my virginity, like my first actual orgasm, was on the golf course. Explanations later. Now, back to the original thing I was saying. I don't know what the fuck happened, or why she did what she did, but the first time we had sex, she was the creamiest motherfucker. Like, creamier than shitball, like the fucking creamiest. I had almost stained my pants. Go home, wash my pants for work, the following week. Next day, have sex again on the golf course. Still creamy, and this time I actually blew my shit. And she said, "Oh, oh my gosh, you're so great," all this stuff that normal girls always say. And what confused me is, we were talking and she begun like soul talking, like, "Oh my God, heart to heart, blah blah blah," and she'd begun crying. Girls cry, get over it. She began crying, and then once she kind of clams up, she says, "I've never cried in front of anyone before." That I suspect is a load of shit. Whatever. I never cried in front of anyone before. Da 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 da. After that, goes kiss her goodnight. She goes home. I go home. Next day, she leaves. I get a text about 2 days later. She confesses all this shit. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "For what?" She's like, "Oh, well, when I went home, I slept with this guy and did a bunch of cocaine and all this stuff." And oh, boom, that was the light changing. I turned into this angry, hateful person. And I just hated her. To this day, I still fucking hate her. But amidst all the anger, I was so fucking depressed. Because not only was I cheated on, I felt like my virginity, something that was not super important to me, but something you only get one of, was stolen from me. I had felt raped. No, it's not real. Well, I can't say it's not real rape, but I can't say it's not fake. It's not the same as rape, but it still somewhat fits into the general guidelines. Anyways, I had felt raped. Bleh, fuck you. And then I'd slowly gotten more depressed and stuff, but slowly gotten more angry, and the music I was listening to was beginning to get harsher and harsher and harsher. And then, yeah, I had begun hating everyone and everything. I just wanted to fucking hurt people. I wanted to make them feel how I felt. I want them to suffer. Still feel that way. Fast forward to... I suppose right now. Nothing really big's happened. Oh, yeah. Another thing I want to put in this video. Fast forward to 2012. Yeah. From April up until December, I had begun working at a mechanics shop. I don't think I'm going to name the name because, well, people that know me know where I was working, and I think it might be a legal liability thing, so I'm not going to say anything. But anyways, I have another reason why Repzion inspired me to make this video. Again, a lot of respect for you, dude. If you don't have respect for me after this, whatever. I still respect you regardless. But, fuck, what was I thinking? Oh, yeah. I was working in this mechanic shop, and I had become still this hateful, angry person, very, very opinionated, and very self-buried in my own opinions. Like, my opinion is what I think is, and the link is, it's not done yet, silly. That says Silky. 2 kiss faces. Anywho, blah, 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 blah. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, working in a mechanic shop, not naming names, very opinionated, Repzion. This is back when, now the timelines between things happening are far off, they're months apart. But working in April, past 3 months, Mad Todd. That big thing, that shit hit the fan and sucked me in like a fucking whirlwind. Because I'm opinionated as all goddamn hell. So, good damn. It's a good thing she's cute. I'm kidding. She's just, well, she is cute. I'm gonna shut up because she's going to watch this. Anyways, what the fuck? Oh yeah, working in a mechanic shop, Amanda Todd. So Amanda Todd happens and sucks me in because I'm an asshole. So basically, I developed my own opinion on it. My opinion has stayed relatively the same. The Mr. Repzion video it's given me more to think about. It's shown me a side that I didn't consider before. My opinion ultimately stayed the same. I'll explain that in probably another video. But anyways, yeah, I had begun, well, being a dickhead. I had posted a link on the Rest in Peace page to a Cannibal Corpse song. She was asking for it. That went almost unnoticed, which blows my fucking mind. But anyways, posted that, nothing happens, whatever. Now, months later, or weeks later, I don't know what the hell. No, it was months later. Months later, I had posted on the page again because I felt bored, and I found a picture that I thought, like, it reminded me of that. I'm like, oh shit, I should post this on the page to be hilarious. I honestly thought it would be funny, and it was funny as fuck to me. The picture was a picture of William Murderface from Death Clock / Metalocalypse, and the caption said, "We drank bleach before it was cool." Now, background, there's an episode of Metalocalypse where the band gets sick, and one of the little things they think to feel better is to drink bleach. If you know anything about Amanda Todd, this will slowly start turning gears. So I found this picture, I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny. I should totally post to that page, it'll be hilarious. Like, controversial humor hilarious. So I posted it. This was my undoing. At work, I was green as all hell. If you know anything about work in general, green means you don't know much. So, and I wasn't even first year apprentice, I was pre-apprenticing, basically working there without signing anything, like any apprentice papers. And I had begun doing oil changes and, little stuff. And, I had tried to, they'd, gotten me to try to tackle big stuff. But, I'll do this for now until whoever comes back. Okay, whatever. And, according to my boss, now I have no disrespect for the man. I think he's fantastic. The business has changed hands since. Regardless, it's a great place to work, I think. He was a great boss. Um, anyways, he had gotten an email from AutoTrader. Someone on AutoTrader saw my post on saw the post of Colton Clownman on Repzion Todd. The William Murderface post. Calls me into his office, pissed off. He's got a short temper. I can say that because I've got a fucking short temper. Calls me, who was going to be my journeyman, and the other apprentice there into his office, and he's pissed off. And no, it was just me and the journeyman, because the journeyman was my dad. Anyways, and he said, do you know who Colton Clownman is? And I said, yeah, that's me. He's like, well, did you post this picture on this page? It says a guy and it says, we drank bleach before was cool. I'm like, yeah. And he was just so pissed off. He said, he didn't start yelling, but he was really, really mad. And he said, this is really bad for business and all this stuff. And makes sense. It is bad for business because they did a lot of their business with AutoTrader and stuff. Makes sense. I understand. I'm not mad at them for letting me go. Anyways, he had said, you know what, just I had left the office and my dad was talking to him. Not standing up for me because I was a son, standing up for me because he knows how Ryan is. Oh, shit! I wasn't supposed to say his name. Oh, fuck. Okay, anyways. He knows how the boss is. And, anyways, he knows how the boss is, and he said, hey, just send him home for the day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Sends me home for the day. Dad was mad. I didn't give a fuck. Come into work the next day. Go into the office. This was amidst some other things happening before in the past, where I had been the bigger person and owned up to the mistakes I had made, and things ended up, I think, working favorably. But anyways, pulled me into his office and said, and he had, what he had said, and I don't know if it's true or false, but he had said he had been looking over the work I was doing, my work ethic and whatnot, and he had begun to think that, I wasn't the right fit, I wasn't working fast enough, and in my defense, I was super green, so if he asked me to do a lift kit in 12 hours, I couldn't do it, it would take me 24, kind of thing. And I mean, I'm super green, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what words are, I don't know what fucking the steering knuckle shit is, I don't know what any of that is, so if the instructions say, take this off of that, I'm just like, what's this? What's that? Well, okay, and do my thing. But he had let me go. But he had laid me off as lack of business, which financially is still sound because I was not working as fast as the book dictates it should be done. Whatever. So yeah, he had laid me off. At first I was mad, but then I'd got literally at first, the first 2 hours, and then I'd kind of gotten over it and be like, you know what? He's right. I'm right. He's right. I'm wrong. He's wrong. Whatever. It's what it is. To this day, I still very much enjoy working there. It was a great job. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, laid off, and I was out of work for literally 2 months. Well, yeah, December, January, 2 months. Paid my rent up until I had paid up January. I paid up December, and I had to make January's payments. So whatever. Oh shit. And as this is happening, I'm dating the girl I used to be dating, and she was there for me. She's rock solid, happy, everything's good. And what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah, I had pretty much become poor, living off of water and ramen noodles. Not ideal, but whatever. Searching for a new job, all this stuff, selling some of my stuff to try to make next month's rent. Again, slowly listening to more and more brutal shit, starting to get much more into death metal. I made rent, found a new job. Everything was going fine. Holy shit. Everything was going fine. Fast forward to shit, I don't remember when it happened. Whatever. Fast forward to the future, but not before this point in time right now. Throughout a lot of my life, a lot of my teenage life anyways, I had always wanted to be a musician, and at this point in time I was in a band. Previously I was in a band, and then that band fell apart, and I was in a new band. And it was me and what is still today, well, granted it's only been like 2 years, the co-founder Trevor Deathcore. Anyways, we had co-founded this band, and we were trying to find members, trying to find another guitarist, or two guitarists and a drummer. He's bass vocals. We had pulled in these three guys, two of which I actually knew. The other guy I didn't know. But two of them were good friends of mine. The other one I still like, admire, and respect a lot. Sterling, if you, not if you're watching this, but if anyone wants to hear a really talented guitar player, the Fingers 11 on YouTube, and on Facebook, he's Sterling Glover. He's a funny guy, smart guy, good at guitar. He's basically a good guy. But him and my other buddy and their friend had joined the band. And we had, at that point, we wanted to make metal. None of this fake Asking Alexandria bullshit. Nothing super brutal, but just metal, Metallica, Children of Bodom, just awesome metal stuff. And they had begun or the other guy, we'll call him Person X. Hopefully I don't say his name too. Person X had begun trying to steer the band towards a little more bullshit, like Falling in Reverse, Escape the Fate crap. Now, where tensions escalated, Person X didn't seem to understand the term unanimous. Now, for all you people out there, unanimous means all parties involved agree to the same choice, agree the same way to the same choice. Whereas if everyone's going to buy pizza and everyone says pepperoni, that's a unanimous decision. Everyone votes on pepperoni. It's unanimous. Everyone wants to. So the big key thing with the band was every decision we had made, we had voted on unanimously. If one person didn't like it, it hadn't passed. So as he's trying to steer the band towards this fucking fake metal bullshit, I had kept saying, no, I don't want to do this. This isn't the kind of music I want to make. He had taken that as, this is my band, this isn't the kind of music we're going to make. Whereas it was really, this is my band too, and that's not the kind of music I want to make for a living. So he had gotten mad, and I don't know what he did. I don't know if he filled people with lies. I don't know what happened. But all three of them ended up quitting same time, under his leadership or whatever. There was actually a bit of a Twitter fought on it, if you can still find it. It was a while ago. It was 2 years ago. But yeah, the thing was, basically, it's like you're a control freak or you're a tyrant, and no one wanted to stand up to you except me. The thing that would happen is Person X, we'll leave him out. Sterling he didn't even seem like he wanted to leave, like, wanted to, but his thing was, if Clayton, shit, I knew it was going to happen. If person X leaves, then I'm going to go too. Not because I don't like you, but because I can't do this without him. Personally, I completely understand. I'm the same way with Trevor. But, yeah, fuck it. If Clay leaves, then he's going too. I'm like, okay, I respect that. Apparently the other guy wanted to quit too, but he'd never voiced anything to me. And apparently we had, or not gotten a spat, but he had said, he hadn't quit until, well, quit until later, because I had talked to him and tried to reason with him. But apparently he didn't like one of the bands that we were wanted to play a song by. But what he told me was he couldn't do it. Couldn't being as in cannot, meaning, in this sense he doesn't have the drum skill. Which I called him out and said, oh, you pansy, you can do it. Apparently he took that the wrong way. But he had quit, and I tried to reason with him afterwards because Clay had ended up fucking explaining everything to me. Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know why they were quitting. And he said, and he had said, the other guy, that he didn't like Metallica. I was like, this is news to me. So yeah, and I had reason with him. I said, hey, message him and said, hey, I didn't know you didn't like Metallica. You still want to stay in the band, we won't do the song, but it's your choice. He had said, I'll think about it. I had never gotten a response back. Now at this point, the band is me and Trevor. I am well scarred. Not like, oh, heart scarred. No, I'm not going to look at bandmates the same. I can't, and that's what I'm doing now, is I can't just pull a guy and say, oh, I want to be in your band. Okay, cool, whatever. I'm actually like interviewing people, like applying them, which I should probably do first, but whatever. Yeah, just me and Trevor in the band, and we still trying to find new members. It wasn't really working. Fast forward to about, it was before Christmas this year of 2013. At that time it was still me and Trevor, but we had found two people that wanted to jam. They didn't know it was a band thing. They didn't know it was a career. They just thought it was jamming. So on this website where we put my little band profile, I put a star next to their name, kind of symbolizing that they, it was tentative. It wasn't set in stone. I had received a message on Facebook from our label on the 13th. I didn't see it until November, or until January, because I didn't check my other messages. So yeah, I got a message from a label saying, hey, we really want your support at our label. Me thinking they want to sign us. To this day, I still don't know what it means. So, bring this news to Trevor before we go to look at a house to buy. And that pulls him out of his funk, because he had started getting depressed. Like, oh my god, this is so fucking sweet, oh my god. And then we're both collectively happy. And throughout this whole entire time of him and I co-founding, or having co-founded and trying to establish this band, we were getting all these ideas and wicked thoughts and slowly mashing them and creating them. And then this was a big spark. This was let's do more, let's create more. So that happened. And I had come to the turning point. It was actually a week or so ago, where I told him, I said, Trevor, I need to tell you something. He's like, what? I'm like, looked me in the eye. I said, fuck this small label bullshit. All they do is sign all these fucking shitty ass artists. Their music blows. Let's just say fuck it and gun for a serious fucking label. He's like, yeah, I totally agree. What was I thinking? And throughout this whole entire time, the concept for our band had slowly begun to change from Children of Bodom metal, Black Dahlia stuff. Now it's twisted into almost straight up death metal, where we follow bands like Goat Whore, Cattle Decapitation, Suicide Silence. Honestly, I think they're pretty fucking close to death metal. Carnifex, Amur, Whitechapel. Amur's not death metal. We listen to all this fucking heavy, brutal shit. That's where we're at right fucking now. We have, at this point, I've got people, well, not to sound egotistical, people lining up to join the band. There's three guys that want the guitar spot. Oh yeah, we had pulled in another guitarist. He's a friend of mine named Nick. Anyways, we have three guys gunning for the last guitar spot, and one guy that wants to play drums. Right now, as a band, as me and Trevor, Nick doesn't know what the fuck's going on, because I have no idea if he's serious or not. But yeah, as it stands, me and Trevor we're fucking super fired up. We're just happy. We're going for it. We're gung-ho. We know what we're doing. We know what we're going to do. We have all these awesome ideas that we want to put into effect. With this band, with the girl I'm currently dating, with the way my life is going, with my job is going, currently, if I were to rate my life out of 10, 7. Solid 7. I've got my video games, my music. I kind of I don't want to say I don't live in a shithole. I live in a great place, but I don't want to be here anymore for my own personal reasons. I've got my video games, my music, my band, my best friend. Best friend's getting super happy now. Cute little girlfriend. Everything is going aces. And then, that's the point I am at right now in my life. Still kind of depressed every now and again. I don't know if I'll ever outgrow or leave that shit behind. I still honestly don't believe if I know how to let things go. I've dragged this video on so long. Anyways. That's where we sit right now. On the cusp, we're on the cusp of getting an actual place to jam, so we can start writing music, start recording music, start making money off our music, start gigging and, doing band stuff. We're still in all our early pre-stages, but I've taken all the liberties and I've put in all this effort into doing as much other shit as I can, building websites and aesthetics, making logos, writing songs, writing out music, all this different shit. I've done all this stuff. The only thing we're missing is the band and the playing. So this has been Pinnacle. I know the word Pinnacle is going to be involved. I don't remember what the title is going to be called. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is where we're at. This is where I'm at. From here on out, it's going to be fucking brutal. But as always, this is Clown Man, signing off.